What if you could go back and change the fate of every Dragon Raja character that you ever loved? That is exactly what Dragon Raja ReRise is letting players do. And the gacha is actually surprisingly generous on top of it. Dragon Raja ReRise is a mobile gacha game from Archosaur Games, the team behind the original Dragon Raja MMORPG. It launched globally recently as a more accessible, story-focused spin-off, or reimagining in the same universe with an urban fantasy setting and heavy automation. It's not a full open-world MMO like the original. Instead, they took the characters and they turned it into a full gacha RPG that blends idle progression with, well, I mean, if you look at the description of the game, it notes tactical depth, but I don't know. Maybe I was missing where the depth comes into play. The game is set in a contemporary urban fantasy world where dragons exist as hidden threats and sources of power. You play as a new recruit at Castle College. This is a key location from the original Dragon Raja game, an elite academy training the next generation of dragon slayers, just like Natsu. It's an interesting amalgamation of modern academy and school life and action fantasy. Visually, I think it's actually one of the stronger points. Characters have high quality anime style illustrations with detailed designs, expressive faces, and unique outfits and weapons. Battles are kinda cool. There are massive, intricately designed dragons, diverse elemental arenas, lots of fancy special effects, glowing scales. It looks actually pretty premium on mobile, flashy without being overly cluttered, but it's also not on PC, which I think is where you'd really get to see how good or bad the game actually looks and feels. The narrative follows you as a new Dragon Slayer recruit at Castle College, uncovering mysteries while fighting dragons. Thus the title, Dragon Raja. I don't know what Raja means, but you know, dragon. The game is very dragon oriented. This ties directly into the original Dragon Raja lore, and characters such as Eri, Nono, Luminous, whoever else is a part of the story, and others reunite. A standout feature is this what if style scenario, along with a lot of interactive choices. You can actually alter past events or character fates from the source material, creating a brand new canon in this reality. You know, where you get all the waifus to yourself instead of them going off and dying, getting into relationships, getting married, having kids. Now, they're all yours. Decisions ripple into relationships, mission outcomes, and rewards is honestly all very, very cool. It's not full branching like a visual novel or Baldur's Gate 3, but it gives this replay value and makes the story feel a little bit more personal. Strategic turn-based combat with auto and manual modes is the core of the game. You build teams of several allies with class roles like attacker, defender, supporter, and battle waves of enemies or bosses. Auto mode handles farming and dailies pretty well. I didn't even need to play the game for the first several hours that I streamed. Manual mode lets you target, time EX skills, your powerful ultimate abilities, and chain synergies for better results on tough content where necessary. The combat emphasizes skill synergies, element matching, roll balance, and burst timing rather than pure reflexes. There's also progression through leveling, awakening, artifacts, weapons, and star-ups. The assistant automates a ton of daily grind, making it feel a little more relaxing and respectful of your time. Tap, clear, and slay is the marketing hook that they use, and honestly, it kind of delivers. Content includes story campaigns, resource dungeons, boss fights, and events. It draws very heavily from the original Dragon Raja, and I know I've pointed this out like twice already, but it features lore, characters, the Castle College concept from the Chinese fantasy novels. The combat and the team building feel a lot like Epic 7, the skill synergies, manual timing, and the role composition, along with other idle games. Multiplayer does exist, but it isn't the main focus. You get PvP arenas for competitive team versus team play and rewards. Guilds provide buffs, cooperative raids, shared shops, a community. It's about what you'd expect in terms of social features. If you enjoy light competitive PvP or guild activities alongside solo story, then it works well. The gacha is marketed as being very generous, but a lot of gacha games make that claim. The question is it? They state they have high drop rates, abundant free resources, and beginner events that let you unlock multiple SSRs without heavy spending. And they're not wrong when it comes to the rates themselves. SSRs have a 3% chance of unit acquisition. On featured and limited banners, the SSR pool typically splits with rate up for the featured character. There's a pity system present. The soft pity is at 40 summons. This guarantees you an SSR with a hard pity at 80 summons. Limited and collab banners operate on a 50-50 system where the second SSR pulled is guaranteed to be the featured character. The standard banners utilize a wish list mechanic instead of a hard rate up. You get tons of free pulls, easy SSR access, and automation that lets free-to-play players keep up without constant grinding. There are daily logins or events, assistant tasks, and smart resource management goes a long way. Long term, this is a typical gacha game. Consistent play and event participation matter, and whales will always pull ahead in PvP and leaderboards, but it avoids the worst pay or suffer traps that many titles have, especially if you enjoyed the strategic team building side rather than just a pure collection. Honestly, it has beautiful production values. The character designs, dragon fights, and the effects stand out. It's generous and respectful of your time. Massive beginner rewards. They claim over 400 plus draws. There are high drop rates, and the assistant system reduces the usual gacha slog. It's nostalgic with some fresh twists. What if story changes and beloved characters are a big draw for fans? It is a relaxing yet engaging loop. Great as a side game, or I guess a main title if you like collecting and optimizing teams. There's also a strong early to mid-game hook with satisfying progression. However, it has some overwhelming systems. Many events, multiple banners, and progression layers can feel like too much at once. There have been technical hiccups, crashes, or freezes after extended sessions. People came in repeatedly asking how I was playing it since they couldn't get past the loading screens. There is time gating and stamina. Some events push multiple logins per day, which frustrates players who just want to set and forget it. It features incredibly simplified combat. If you crave deep manual action or complex real-time systems, then the turn-based hybrid system might feel lacking in the long run, though manual mode does help to some extent. There are some late-game concerns. Like most gachas, power creep or heavier pay-to-win elements can appear later. The early game, though, does feel very fair. But is Dragon Raja ReRise worth playing? Overall, I think it's a strong, well-executed entry in the mobile gacha RPG space. Unfortunately, however, it has no PC release, making it a mobile-exclusive title. It's especially refreshing for its generosity and its respect for player time. It also delivers on the dragon-slaying fantasy with style and doesn't really feel like a total cash grab early on. Download it, claim the beginner rewards, and see if the characters or the combat hook you. Honestly, that's the least you could do. Worst case scenario, you waste like 10-20 minutes of your day. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.